Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Parsing John. This is the last video of this section of the text where we get to take a look at verses 11 through 13, finishing off our section. If you recall from our previous video, if you took the time to watch all the way through my horrible ramblings there, the two texts did not match up quite as well as our first two passages, and the Greek passage and the Latin passage of verses 1 through 5 match. Those two lined up very, very close. But in what was it? Taking a look over here. Verse 7, there was a rather large change in how the Latin wrote it out as to how the Greek wrote it out. So far our Latin text is on a a little bit of a rocky footing. Not too horrible yet, but not as close as it could easily have been. All right, let's take a look at this text. We've got our first clause, he came into his own, and we've got in the Latin, he came into his own. Propria and idia there are the exact same words in their respective languages. Eothen and venit, they are likewise the exact same. It was initially pretty hard to figure out, is this perfect or is this present? Eothen does not have that issue at all, but those two match perfectly, which is wonderful. And his own did not receive him. We've got a aorist there, and then here we've got et his sui recuperunt, receive him. This is a perfect, so these two are rough equivalents in their tense and their form, in their meaning, in their respective languages. So these two match up. These two are good. We've got him and him. We don't have hic, which probably would have been a better fit for auton. No, definitely wouldn't. These two are definitely the correct ones. You got is, ed. They've got, I didn't write it down on that page, but autos, aute, auton, or auto, sorry. So yeah, these two are equivalent. Hic, hoc would fit better with hutos and all of that. But anyway, sui and hoi, we've got two substantives. I didn't write substantive in the Greek, probably should have. So those two also match wonderfully so far. Verse number 12, hosoi, quote, quote, roughly equivalent. Hosoi can decline, but quote, quote, can't. But that's not really a textual error. It's just the Latin author chose the equivalent in his language, and it just so happened to be a word that doesn't decline, and it didn't frankly need to decline. Okay, we've got a weak interjection there, but we've got a much stronger interjection in the Latin that doesn't technically change the meaning very much. It's just in Latin it's a teeny bit more forceful, got a little bit more of an idea behind it than de does in the Latin. Okay, and took, received, we've got aorist and recuperant, repetition of this. These are two different words, parelebon and elebon, and I failed to look up the difference between the two. So I can't comment on those. I'm sorry. That's something that you'll need to look up on your own. These two are exact duplicates of each other. If the Latin author were being meticulous about following them exactly, he could have removed the re and just done ceperant. So I don't see a big issue there, really, since they have the same idea, the four of them. But since I didn't do my homework, shame on me. I could be wrong. Okay, him, got the two equivalents there. He gave them power, children of God, to become. He gave, we've got a perfect tense, an aorist tense. He gave it one-time action there as well. That's very good. We've got a indirect object there, ace and autos. We still got the equivalents to each other. Very, very good. Exousion, power, potestatem, ability or power. These two are rough equivalents. I cannot remember if there is a Greek verb for this one, but this one definitely has a Greek verb that's built off of a very common verb. But anyway, they are equivalents. Children, sons. So there's a slight different idea there. The Greek text just says children, but our Latin text is quite specific in sons. So different ideas. The Latin author could easily be taking this from context elsewhere, but in just the internal context of these passages, this is not the correct word to choose. Does it change the idea of what's going on? Not really, because what does it mean to become a child of God? Well, if you're a boy, naturally you're going to be a son if you're a child. If you're a girl, naturally you're going to be a daughter if a child. So this one is just a little bit less inclusive, if you will, than techna, but not too big of a deal. Okay, possessive God, so far so good. We've got a passive infinitive here, and we've got an aorist deponent infinitive here, which are basically the same thing. And this genao, become, be born, happen, and then fiofire, that's be made, become, the passive verb that is used instead of the passive form of facio. So there is a little bit of a different idea between these two, which I think we had a similar situation in verse number, don't remember, last section, where we had facio and this verb. So slightly different idea. Maybe natus would have been a better word here, natus, this one, but still not too far away from each other, so it's all right. To those believing into the name of him, and we've got to those who believe in the name of him. So here we have a relative clause, where in the Greek we do not really have a relative clause. We would need a different word than just toi, so this acts as its own clause. So just a different type of grammar there, but no serious issues. I'm beginning to disappear out of the text. I could move that up once more. Okay, so a few issues. Nothing too bad yet. All right. Okay. We've got now all of the different sources. Who, not. From blood. These two are exact equivalents in Greek and Latin, so that's good. Nor, from the will of the flesh, nor from the will of man, nor from the will of man. We've got the more specific wir here, we've got the more specific aner here, so these two are equivalents, where we had anthropos and homo are rough equivalents between Greek and Latin. Wir and aner are rough equivalents between Greek and Latin also. So this is a good match that we have in our Latin. All right, then we've got sed and a more emphatic alla here than the de. We had about what you can you? Nope, you can't. So Latin has a different idea between these two, but then again, Greek also has a different idea between alla and the de from above. No big issues that I see between how the Greek text is written and how the Latin text translated from it. Okay, source from God, and then we've got genao there and natus est here. So these two are, as far as I'm aware, very, very close equivalents to each other. So this is definitely a good choice from our Latin translator to represent this word. So as we take a look at these two texts, there are only a couple teeny tiny issues. Philos being the biggest of the issues for the Latin text, where it is more specific to just sons than the generic techna, which is both boys and girls. So taking a look at these two passages together, they're very good with respect to each other. So if this were alone, I'd say, yeah, give them an A. Yeah, just a flat A, no A+. But in the context of our previous passages, where we have got, keep losing track of it, crederent, and then we've got pisteusin. I'm going to have to give my personal rating to this text. Let's give it a B+, which is still really good. The Latin translator definitely could have done a better job of keeping it closer to the Greek without completely pulling it away from how the Romans would say it. So slight failing from what I can see on the part of our Latin translator, but not a horrible, complete idea-changing problem there. Not instantly. So specifically my two issues were philos and crederent, being slight changes in the idea, not completely destroying the text, not overly changing what the text means, just minor changes that could have easily been avoided. Okay, well, there we go. We've got verse 6 through 13 done. We're next going to take a look at however long our next passage is, and this time I'm going to try to use more color coordinating. I'm going to stay with blue for our Greek text, and I'll try to figure out a different color for our Latin one. I'm probably not going to use my red pen. See if I can find something better so that it's easier to tell the difference between these two. I'm sorry about that. Okay, and sorry if I seem like I'm rambling, running through this very quick. Anyway, I hope taking a look at these texts has been very helpful for you, and I hope that you one watcher, or however many of you there are, keep with me. Keep up with your reading, and everybody, have a good whatever thing is coming up next. Farewell. Oh, before actual farewell, so pause. I should have the first Virgil video out coming next Friday. And then I might have the Friday after that a Homer video where I'm going to take a look at the first few lines of the Iliad and scan them as well. I'm going to see if I might be able to turn that into its own little series, the Virgil one and Homer one. So I hope you join me for those. Virgil probably next week. Homer maybe the week after, maybe not. Depends on how crazy life is. You know how life gets. All right, for real now. Farewell.